title of today's presentation is Healing the Pain of the Teen Years, Honor, dedicated to Ray Huerta. Many people spend their lifetimes working through the issues from their adolescence. And I can use myself as an example. I became a world champion powerlifter at 65. I got a motorcycle at 61. It was all working through issues from my adolescence. And I've seen it many times, but the case I'm most familiar with is myself. People want to have fun in their teen years. They want to be accepted. They have their hormones raging. If somebody has a pimple, they may want to come to school. They may want to just hide as much as they can. A person, if they want to have nice clothes, if they have the worst clothes in the group, they feel inferior. In the competition, they want to compete. They want to be in athletics. They want to be popular. Most people are not popular. Some portion of the popular people, soon after high school, are not popular and not doing that well. So that life, even while they're still teenagers, their highlight of their lives could have been high school, but still in their teens, there'll be a certain portion who feel like losers right afterwards because their friends went on to bigger, better things, and they're stuck, doing some job that doesn't have the same prestige or money that their other friends who were not as popular went on to do. So you have, or if a girl doesn't have the shape that she wants, or a guy's not that muscular and he's very skinny, it really can destroy the teen years. Or some body part. If somebody says to a girl, 15, hey, your nose is so big, that's it. I mean, she walks around, what could she do? Of course, then she's going to yearn for a nose job, but that can really ruin somebody's teen years until their face fills in. If they're lucky, their face will fill in, and it doesn't overshadow everything else. But that's the kind of thing that leads to years and years of pain, maybe a lifetime, or 20, 30, 40, 50 years working through adolescent issues. What it comes down to is self-esteem. The self-esteem of most teenagers, if they're not given guidance, and this is where honor comes in, I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, their self-esteem depends on their looks, whether they're liked by other people. If they're not liked, they feel like failures. Their looks, or their advanced classes, their intellect. Now, being smart could be esteemed amongst, if they're in the advanced classes, but a lot of people in school could even look down on that. Oh, he's just a nerd. And it could be relegated to the lower rungs of the caste system. There is a caste system in high schools. Usually the athletes are at the top of it, and the smart kids are probably not that popular. And a lot of times they're not as brawny or well developed if they're women as the others, and so that's what happens in high school, and that's so much information now. So the self-esteem is tied to their looks, maybe their money, their clothes, their grades, or how well they did in athletics. Self-esteem is tied to that. Now, if a person leaves there with low self-esteem, then you have less self-confidence. Less self-confidence, then it's harder to succeed in life without that self-confidence. They're afraid to try something new, very afraid to change jobs when they're older, or afraid to even start a new business for themselves. It starts early. The self-esteem and the self-confidence are tied to whether they have a pimple on their nose. Right? That's a horrible thing to be. That is a really bad thing to be tied to, a pimple on your nose. And Most of us have been there. And that can go into a depression. They feel very shy. They don't want to, a teenage boy want a girlfriend, but he's so shy because he's got pimples. Well, the girl may have pimples, and so she's too shy. Or she feels underdeveloped in her figure compared to the other girls. Or you have a girl that looks masculine. She might be heterosexual even and still look masculine, and people make fun of her. So she's not getting the popularity. In fact, she's being disparaged. Or a boy may look a little feminine even if he's heterosexual, and then he's made fun of. So being tied to being popular, being liked, whether you have a pimple on your nose or whether your nose is too big or your ears are too big, some of these things come in first and the rest of the face catches up. Usually, but not always. Sometimes it just stays that way. You know how vulnerable that is for a teenager to be tied to that? And then working that through could be for a lifetime. Seriously. If you look at your own lives, or you look at the lives of your children, your teenagers, these are my children. Most of them are in their teen years. Some are obviously not in their teen years. And so I've had experience in my own teen years as a psychologist for over 46 years in California, being in the profession 50 years, being 80 years of age, and then watching my own children in their teen years and whatnot. And the other thing that happens in the teen years, very often there's a rebelliousness. They don't accept the guidance from the parents. So the way of honor, which I'm going to talk to you now, will help heal all of that. It's got to be delivered early, honor. And the main way of teaching honor is not so much what you say, but how you live. You want your children to learn honor? First, you have to teach it to yourself. You have to know what it is and how to develop it. I'm going to tell you what it is and how to develop it. What it is this. Honor is loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined within the 4 commandments of honor while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. Honor is loyalty to your highest constructive values as enshrined in the 4 commandments of honor while striving to cause no harm physically and emotionally. Now, in terms of the 4 commandments of honor, I have so many videos, literally hundreds and hundreds of videos talking about what the 4 commandments of honor are, what the bridge is, what the supremacy of honor code is. I'm not going to go into that today. And then I have all the videos that also support the whole way of honor. So as you live the way of honor, then you can talk to your children about having honor. You really want this statement for yourself to begin with, and then for your children growing up, even before their teen years, and then when they're teenagers, should be well developed in them. My self-esteem and self-respect depend only on my honor. My self-esteem and self-respect depend only on my honor. Self-esteem, self-respect leads to self-confidence. That should be just part and parcel, because you have a culture that says, well, it's based on your money, your looks. I mean, you could have somebody as an adult who's rich, good-looking, smart. Person could be a total loser, failure, if they don't have honor. Only honor makes you a success. Only honor makes a male a man. We're born with a with the genitalia of a male. That makes you a male. But even be a man without honor, not a man. Same with a woman. A woman is a female without honor. To be truly a woman, she has to have honor. So my self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. One of the best things you can do for your children, you don't want to just come to this when they're teenagers. You want to, the earlier the better, but if right now you just have teenagers and not children anymore, you living this is going to help them, and they see you really more peace and more in harmony with yourself and your surroundings, they're going to gravitate towards that. Then you can tell them more about what the way of honor is. But the statement again, my self-esteem and self-respect depend only on my honor. That's really the bottom line. That's the message. Self-confidence comes from that. You know, and the irony is you don't care about being, that takes you away from, your self-esteem don't depend on your popularity, or if you have a pimple on the end of your nose, or you don't have a pimple. You want it to depend only, the only protection you have is what your self-esteem is tied to. Because self-esteem leads to self-respect, that leads to self-confidence. And the interesting thing is, the more self-esteem and self-respect you have and confidence and self-confidence based on your honor, actually what happens is you become more popular. You're not doing it to become more popular, but people are more attracted to you. You now at this stage in your life, but also to your children, to your teenage children, to your children that are preteen. It makes them more popular, and people desire them more in it because they're not as dependent on the external factors. They know that they're living a life of honor. It's the best thing you can do for your children is show them this way. Whatever religion you are, doesn't matter what religion, or if you're an atheist, the way of honor could be, it applies to everyone. We have people in all religions, we have atheists, it's not an issue. All races, religions are disciples of honor. We have over 1,200 disciples of honor that have taken the pledge by myself over the last 6 years. So there we have it. That's the bottom line. And I recommend you look at the other videos or the other written materials. We have books. I have also books on the honortherapy.com there as well, including one book called The Teachings of Honor. So I'm going to open up to comment and questions from everybody who's here. Jay, are you there?
Yes.
What are your oh, now you're right side up. Jay, what are your thoughts and reactions to what I'm saying?
Well, it's 100% correct. I mean, the earlier you teach honor, the earlier they start living with it, and the better off it is for us as adults, or for them as adults.
You know, I sure wish I knew about this when I was younger.
Me too.
Yeah, I could have saved myself a lot of grief if I would have understood it. As a matter of fact, to tell you the truth, nobody was talking about living a life of honor. I mean, zero. I never heard it one time. My parents were great people. They never mentioned it. They were just decent, great people. Nobody talked about it. None of my friends, nobody at school. And even the popular kids, I said, if a popular kid, very successful with the members of the opposite sex, very successful in sports and studies, but afterwards, if her or his self-esteem is depending on those achievements, and now they're at the bottom of the social ladder because they're not really progressing in life, they'll be even more depressed because even they need to have their self-esteem and self-respect to depend only on their honor, not on being popular as they are. They can get addicted to popularity. Here's the danger of the popular kids. They get addicted to that. They're used to people looking up to them. Then they go out in the world and they're just another guy on the block, another girl on the block, and people aren't all, making a fuss about them. And they're feeling not special anymore. Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
A lot of people peak in high school, and then
they peak in high school. Well said. There are many people who do peak in high school, and after that, it's all downhill. And so, if their self-esteem is dependent on that kind of popularity, that kind of adoration, they're in deep, deep trouble. What are your thoughts and feelings about what's been said?
Well, I was grown up when my parents are very strict on living with integrity and living with honor. And my
Wow.
dad, he did practice what he preached. So I agree with what you are saying, but in my experience, because I tried to live the right way, I was the one that always get beaten up on. So
When you say you got beaten up on, by whom?
by my peers
Oh, okay. You weren't doing the things they were doing. I hear that. Yeah.
Asking me to look the other way, and it is a tough role for me to follow, but I did my best. I tried. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I will always advise not to do if I don't think that is the right thing to do. And but I just don't get involved in those things. I just stay away from them. But it is hard. To me, it's a very lonely path.
I would, it's very, Clara, that's very well said. I'm proud of you that the way you put that. This can be a lonelier path, but it's a path of creating good karma, not bad karma. It's a path of creating good consequence, not negative consequence. And it's a path of preserving who you are, your own dignity, your own self-esteem, your own integrity. But honor is an end in itself. And also, it's a definition of identity. The teen years, people are really questioning their identity. They're trying to figure out who they are. And once they understand their purpose in life. I mean, people could be 60, 70 years old, not even know their purpose in life. Once they understand that their purpose in life is to live with honor, everybody I talk to will say honor is part of their purpose in life. Some people might be happiness and honor, family and honor, happiness, health, family and honor, but always honor is a part of their purpose in life. So that has a very settling effect for, particularly in the teens, or even as children, to be raised with a sense of your purpose in life is to live with honor. Well, it's been a pleasure to be able to be here with you and to present this to you. I'm Dr. Arnold Nierenberg. Been a clinical psychologist in the state of California for over 46 years. Been in the field for over 50 years. Been on this earth for over 80 years. Took me this long to put it all together for you. Really, my intention is to uplift you and your descendants for the rest of your lives.